you have the pen?
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
I literally was going to see.
Okay.
You happen to be
How does that happen, Tom?
How did that happen?
James just reminded me of a story. A friend of mine had the script on his floor while I was staying on the sofa of his apartment. And I read it and I thought, I could do it better than he could, so I called up James. And he auditioned me. Very good story. Yeah, no, he is.
Is it that easy?
No.
For you, I mean, you know, what are the process? Like, what's the next step? I mean, what did you have to do to really get their attention? I mean,
they were kind enough to let me audition. Unfortunately, they just foolishly maybe saw something and let me be in it. It was genuinely that simple.
Tom's being sort of humble about this, or generous to us. We were looking at a lot of actors, and we got a call from a very good agent saying there's a young man named Tom Sturridge who'd like to come in. And James and I were like, Tom Sturridge? We don't really know him. And oh, he loves the script. And we're thinking, I don't remember us sending a script to Tom Sturridge. Oh no, I think he knows the script. So we got worn down and said, all right, let's have Tom Sturridge come in and read the script. And honestly, we probably met 100 people. And it's not that you get jaded, but we were a little jaded at that point. And Tom saunters in and sits down and totally blew us away. And then we're like, well, how did you get the script? Because we didn't send it to you. And then he proceeds to tell us he was camped out on someone's couch and he was bored and he picked up the script and read it and loved it. Called his agent and said, I want this one. And so that's, the serendipity of just him finding a script on a couch, and the next thing you know, here he is in the movie. Lets you know how showbiz can work.
and perhaps fighting for what you want.
Yeah, exactly.
Rachel, how did you come to the project?
Hi. I had read the script and I was really drawn to the story and the characters and how well written it was and how many layers there were to so many of the characters, which is unique and you don't find that very often. So I was very excited about the script, and I was lucky enough to meet with James and Trevor initially. Were you there the first time? Yes, you were. And we hit it off and we talked about the film and sort of were on the same page, and we went from there. I was very lucky and happy to be a part of it, so thanks for watching.
Blythe?
Well, I found the script to be so tender, and I love the fragility of Tom's character, and I loved Rachel. Rachel, we actually hadn't had scenes together, but we worked together in another film. Last Kiss. Last Kiss. And Richard, of course, is such a wonderful actor, and I very much wanted to work with him and be directed by James. And I just was very drawn to it. Also, the three-dimensionality of a character, an older woman. It's good to have the opportunity to play all those different emotions, and I think it is true of marriages are very complicated, and people often see on the surface something that they might think is just abhorrent, and yet there's tremendous depth and after many years of marriage.
Blythe, how do you know in a script that's just a bunch of white pages with black print, and when they teach you in film school, not to tell too much in the script because, you can't say anything you can't see. Like, how do you know as an actress that it has all of this emotion, it has all of this depth?
Well, it was well written. Steve wrote a beautiful script, and I think you read so many things that don't have those elements, that you hunger for those as an actor. And as I say, certainly at my age, too, you don't always get to play romances anymore, or at least, three-dimensional women, your grandmothers or mothers without that kind of depth. So it did jump off the page to me. Very happy to be part of it.
Turn over here. How did you find your cast?
Quite similar.
Basically, I was introduced to a circus guy, a circus trainer, about sort of 4 weeks before we started shooting, who attempted to teach me how to juggle. Which didn't really go very well. And at the end of the script, there's this extraordinary last page, which basically, I'm going to misquote Steve, but essentially says, like, da 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 da, and then Will does the greatest piece of juggling humanly imaginable. If you watch this piece of juggling, you will cry, laugh, your stomach will roll, and your eyes will bleed. And so, having done these 4 weeks of training, kind of kept going back to this page, going like, I'm still struggling with 2 balls, Steve. Like, I don't know what's going to happen. And we got to, I remember we got to the last, literally we filmed the last scene on the last day. And there were all these, we filmed it in Utah, and there were all these extras who were like really excited to be part of a film. And they were really cool guys, and I started juggling the final scene, which is supposed to be incredible. And I was juggling a bit, and I could sort of see the ADs go around and go like, listen, this is supposed to be the greatest thing you've ever seen in your life, so like, just, you know, react appropriately. These guys are going like, God, this guy is shit. And then suddenly, there's that final bit where I get the fire out, and I literally, like, these people who really, really wanted to be in a film, the moment they saw me pick up this fire stick, were like, fuck this man, like, I've seen him with balls, like, I'm fucking out of here. And you could just see all these people just fucking leave the set. And, yeah, so I'm terrible at juggling, and I want to thank my double. He
Then you
is
have a great
genius.
Let's take like 2 more questions, if there are. Yes, go ahead.
Whose idea was the pajamas? Wear pajamas?
Whose idea was the pajamas?
I have a good friend in Los Angeles who just wears pajamas. And yeah, a nephew, but this guy's 54. I mean, he just wears. But that's it. You know, it just they are loose and they're comfy and they're cheap. So it seemed like a good idea to start off with. And the hat, by the way, that was totally you. So I mean, there, in answer to the script question, it can change, you know, in a blink. And now the hat is almost like a symbol of the show. The hat and the heart. I love that poster.
The best hat in the world.
Any other questions here? Okay, on the end there.
Hello, I just wanted to say that I really enjoyed the film. This question's for Tom and Rachel. Tom, what's the cutest thing you've ever done to charm a girl's heart? And Rachel, what's the cutest thing God has sort of done to charm your heart?
I genuinely have never succeeded in charming a girl's heart.
You don't have to charm.
I don't know. Damn, been out on this one.
Blythe, do you have one? What's Blythe? Is
At
it
my
what?
age, am I still charming men? I don't think so.
What's worked
Where
on
are
you?
you? Where are you?
What's worked on you?
What's worked on me? Humor. I love to laugh. That's always won my heart. Laughing and jazz. I love jazz. I used to sing it years ago.
Well, we'll ask you guys the same question because you ended a little romantic getaway.
This one time I was with this girl and I brought her. I was gonna ask her out to prom, and I brought her into this cab which I prearranged, and I had roses all over the cab. I brought her into the cab and she was like, "What the hell's going on?" and I was like, "Well, I really want you to go to prom with me, and I bought you all these flowers." I made that up.
I would have to go with the humor thing, I think, but having a sense of humor is the best way to get somebody's right.
I think one thing that's great that shows through in both films is that that you have to live life like you have to live it light, even through the dark stuff. You know, and the humor and the love and everything. Oh, I'm getting gushy. Sorry, but you know that's tonight. And so thank you all for being here. Thank you all. Please allow them to make their way to the after party. You can greet them there. The party's already in session. Goes from midnight. Thank you all.
Oh my God, Mr. Potter.